Welcome back to Sugar Free Reviews. We're going to be looking at this dash cam today. I purchased this dash cam about a month and a half ago, and it's the first dash cam I've ever owned. In the past, I normally have only used my cell phone to substitute itself as a dash cam, but I've got to the point where I just decided I'd rather have a dedicated uh, dash cam and be able to control my music and all on my cell phone. This particular one I purchased because I was looking for something that had all the features that was 1080p, um, but that wasn't a ridiculous price. And I took a chance on this particular dash cam because normally when I purchase something, and I do a lot of purchases on Amazon, uh, I make sure that there's a lot of reviews so that I can, make an informed decision. This dash cam, however, had just been put on Amazon and only had, I believe, 2 reviews. So I took a chance on it, and I have to say that I have been very impressed with it. So when I purchased it, the name or it didn't have a brand name. It was just dash cam. Now, if you go to Amazon, and I will put a link to this camera on Amazon's site in the description below. Now, when you look at the cam on Amazon, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. It's Aolbea. So I'm gonna pronounce that as Aolbea, and it's their dual dash cam. Excuse me. It's 1080p, 30 frames per second. But the good thing about this is it's 1080p on both cameras, so you don't have your forward facing camera, which is your main camera, 1080p, but then your cabin camera be some ridiculous low resolution. So let me switch my cameras over, and we'll let you look at this up close. And you have to forgive the glare. So it comes with the suction cup mount, and I don't like this mount. And it's not because there's anything wrong with it. I'm sure for most individuals that the mount itself would be just fine. I, however, can't stand something to be blocking my view. Now, the way that I install this in my vehicles is on the windshield, at the top of the windshield, right beside the rear view mirror. And this particular mount is so long, there was no way to mount it at the top of the windshield and it not reach down below the rear view mirror. And you can't turn it sideways because there's no groove at the top here for it to articulate sideways. So I ended up purchasing another suction cup mount, but the power cable. Now, the power cable I have connected to it right now is not the original power cable. The original power cable, I believe, is 10 or 12 feet long, and when I put it in the car or my vehicle, I don't like to be able to see the wire, so I tuck the wire in the trim of the vehicle and then run it around up underneath the dash. And I didn't want to buy 2 cameras, So I wanted to take this camera and move it to each vehicle. So I bought 2 extra short camera mounts, or suction cup mounts, and I contacted the seller about getting a second power cable. And after some debate and offering to just let me purchase a second camera for no discount whatsoever, I finally, which all I wanted to do is get the specs on the power cable so that I could purchase one off Amazon, just a similar one. I just didn't want to get one that, would either not work or would, harm the camera itself. I wanted original equipment. So the seller eventually let me purchase a original power cable from them. It is exactly like the one that came with it. The one that I have here is one that I made that just hooks to the USB port in my vehicle, and I'm just using it to keep it from cycling on and off and telling me the battery is low. So, like I said, it's got your dual cams. This is your cabin camera. It's got the infrared, 4 infrared lights. The interesting thing about the infrared on this camera is most infrared that I've used or am used to, the colors in the infrared are either black and white or have a green hue to them. This one, and I'll show some of the footage from the camera in a bit, and you'll see the footage from this infrared camera is purple, which I don't particularly prefer it, but that's just a personal preference thing. It doesn't affect anything at all. I mean, it's perfectly fine. So this is your forward-facing camera. Each camera will rotate 270 degrees. I know some people like to mount their dash cams on the dash. If you like to do that, I guess you could use the cabin cam if you have a clear shot, through your car out your rear glass. You could use it as a rear monitor to some extent. The reason that I wanted a camera with a cabin camera is because a lot of times for my other YouTube channel, I will shoot videos as I ride down the road, and it's difficult to get, again, my cell phone into a spot where it works for that. So what I wanted was a dash cam that not only would function as the dash cam, but would also be able to function as a camera for my YouTube videos that I shoot as I ride down the road. So, like I said, both cameras, both the forward-facing and the cabin camera, are 1080p, 30 frames per second. The infrared night vision is only on the cabin camera. It has a GPS option. You can see the GPS plug-in right here. It doesn't have GPS automatically made into it, which that doesn't bother me at all. I didn't need that. But they do sell the GPS module to connect to it. It's got auto loop recording, which means once your SD card fills up, it will start recording over the first recording, so that you never run out of space. The catch there is you have to make sure that the settings are correct in the camera itself. Now, that's one of the, I don't know if I'd call it an issue, because I knew when I purchased this camera that it was a I would categorize it as a lower end Chinese dash cam. So I didn't expect for the directions, the instruction manual to be very clear or concise, and it wasn't. For example, they call one of the sensors in the camera a G sensor, and in the instructions it says if you want to do this, then you need to turn the sensitivity of the G sensor down to low. Well, if you go into your menu on the camera, there is not a G sensor anywhere. I mean, there's nothing that says G sensor at all. So, you're kind of left wondering, okay, well, which one is it? So I basically had to fumble around and learn, how this camera works on my own. Up until a couple of days ago, I couldn't get it to do the loop recording. It would record, it would run out of space, and then it would say your phone's or your SD card is full, and then you'd have to manually delete from the. You can do it from the camera, manually delete, and it'll delete all the videos that are not protected. You can unprotect them and then delete, and then it'll start recording again. But the way that the camera records, it can record in increments, and I think the increments are 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then continuous. The continuous is actually like 13 or 14 minutes. But what that does is, let's say that, well, I'm assuming what it's for is if you get into an accident and you have that recorded and you want to give that file to the, police, then you only have a short file to give them. That doesn't affect me at all. I would rather have, a continuous video. I can take the SD card, connect it to my phone, and quickly cut out whatever I need to if I want to give it to the police or whatever. To me, that's not a big concern. So I put my settings on continuous recording. And like I said, it would reach a point and say your SD card is full, and I would have to delete videos. Well, or recordings. So I played with the settings a little bit, and I reduced the recording segment time back from continuous to 10-minute. And when I did that, my SD card was full. When I did that, it's immediately started recording again. Now, some of the instructions say that it has to do with the G. I think that might have been the one for the G sensor, that you have to set it on low in order to get it to continuous record. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I've only had it for a month and a half, and I'm still, learning how it works. Again, if the instructions were more clear, and I don't understand for any Chinese company that puts things on Amazon in English, why you wouldn't get someone, to translate and interpret your descriptions and everything. Someone that's it. I would say that English is their first language, and let them do that instead of you, just because it's very easy to tell that, hey, this is definitely from China, because you can tell this is not their first language. And when it comes to the instructions, that's the biggest thing. When you've got an instruction manual that you can't read, and it's not anything other than a language issue. I mean, that's not helpful at all. So that's that's one of the downsides but that's with anything, not just this. It also has a park monitor, so you can, and it's got different sensitivity levels. So if you when you park your car, it's got a built-in battery. I think the battery's supposed to last up to 4 hours. But what it'll do is, if something bumps your car, depending on the sensitivity level you set it on, if something bumps your car, it will record for 30 seconds and then shut off. And it does record even if you don't have so let me show you. So we'll go ahead and turn it on. All right, so you see right there, so that's just the forward facing camera. Well, then you can hit this little button here, and it switches to the rear facing camera. And you hit it again, and then it splits, so you can see both the forward and the rear facing camera. And then back to the forward facing camera. So, as you know, regardless of how you what's on the screen, it's recording. It is making a file for both cameras. So like I said, if something bumps your car, both cameras will, record for 30 seconds, and then it'll shut back off again. It also has motion detection, so you don't have to manually turn your camera off and on. I normally turn the motion detection off because I don't want to rely on it to turn itself on or off. I just not a very trusting person anyway, so I just don't trust that camera to be on by on its own accord when I need it to be on. I would rather get in the car, reach up, hit the little button to start recording, and go. Okay, so you got your parking monitor, the auto detection. It does not come with an SD card. They recommend a 64 gigabyte SD card. The SD card slot is here at the top. Personally, I put 128 gigabyte. It's got the loop recording, but since it's rather difficult to get that to work, I would rather have the 128 gigabyte card. Like I said, it's got a built-in battery that'll last as far as the parking monitor. Anytime I've had it unplugged and just riding down the road while it's recording, it doesn't last long at all as far as continually recording as you're riding down the road. So basically the internal battery is mainly for that park monitor. It does record audio. You can turn the audio off and on. It's got a annoying beep for every time you touch the little buttons. You can turn that off. You cannot turn the beep off when the camera turns itself on and off, which is another reason that I do not have the motion detection on, because the beep to come on, the beep to come off is just too much. The display on the front, I wish that my my webcam would pick up the display better, because the display is actually a lot clearer than what it seems on my webcam. It's not perfect. It's not, cell phone quality or anything like that. It's not out of this world, but it is really good. Now, for a similar camera, if you go on Amazon right now and look up this camera, it's around $60 roundabout. But if you go down and look at the similar items, which would be similar cameras, what you will see is the similar cameras with some of them don't even have as many of the features that this camera has, but the similar cameras will be $169, I think was the one I saw yesterday. So for what you are getting in this dash cam, to me, the value far outweighs any the instructions, the not being able to understand the instruction manual because of the whole language thing. Anything that's a negative, the value of the dual 1080p, it's, to me, it just makes it worth it. I was very surprised that it takes as good a pictures as it does. So here is during the day. Now on this one, I don't have I had to cut this this particular video so it doesn't have any audio on it. But you can see, I mean, it's very clear. I mean, there's, it to me, the only way you're going to get a better picture than what you're seeing here is to get a higher end camera that is 4K. And I really don't know why you would need that. I mean, other than, that's what you want, and that's fine. But I mean, this is excellent quality. This is in the morning. It was kind of overcast, but you can see, I mean, it's very clear. Now, if you look right here, well, yeah, over there, the black thing at the top of the screen, that is part of the suction cup mount, and then down below right here is where that's my rear view mirror. So you see I have it all the way at the top of my windshield, right beside my rear view mirror. And it's out of the way. I mean, I think it's a great camera. I mean, I can't say, it's a perfect camera. I can't say that the quality is top of the line. I mean, if you want to be honest, I mean, it feels like a cheap camera, but it performs great. I mean, it does exactly what I want it to do. Now here is during the night. Now it does have some audio. I'll just play it for just a second. Then I'll cut that off. I'll cut it off because I think I was listening to music or something. I think I started singing. I don't want to subject anybody to that. So this is at night. This is my windshield on my truck had a lot of road wear at the time. it actually got cracked and I had it replaced. But so some of the glare that you're seeing is my windshield. It's not the camera quality, but you can see even at night. This is, like I said, this is the forward facing camera, and it's still clear. Now here is the cabin camera, and you can see the purple hue, and it really took me by surprise when I first got it and turned it on, because I was expecting green or at least black and white, but you can see it's purple, but it is clear. And then here is the inside cab during the day. I think this was me and my son taking trash to the dump. But like I said, I mean, you can see that the picture quality is outstanding. To be a the price point that it's at, around $60, I don't think you could ask for more. I did not expect, when I first brought this in and plugged in the SD card into my computer, because I didn't want to see it on my phone. I wanted to see it on a bigger screen. I was blown away. I mean, it really has a great picture, and I'm glad that I did not spend $150, $200 on a more expensive camera, when this is more than sufficient for me and for what I want to do with it. Is it perfect? No, it's not. It has some quirks, but overall, I'm pleased with the camera. I mean, like I said, it doesn't have the GPS built in, but I wouldn't use the GPS anyway. I mean, I use either my car navigation system or my cell phone's GPS, so I don't even use that. The let me switch back to my up close view. Yeah. All right, you'll notice on the side that it says HD car DVR. You won't see the name Aolbea anywhere on the camera. And like I said, it's just because it's a Chinese lower end product, but it's a lower end product that performs like a much higher end product. And I don't easily give praise to something. If I'm gonna support, or I'm gonna promote or give praise towards something, it has to perform to that level for me to do that. And that's the whole point of this YouTube channel. I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, man, this has got to be one of the best dash cams ever. I'm not going to say that, because one, I don't know, and two, it's not. It has its quirks. It doesn't, it feels very light and kind of cheap feeling, but does it affect what it says that it can do? No, it doesn't. It does exactly what it said. It shoots 1080p, 30 frames per second on the cabin and on the front facing camera. It has the night vision. It records audio if you want. I mean, it does exactly what they said it would do. Now, as far as figuring out how to get it to do that, well, yeah, there's where it loses some points. But as far as functionality, it's got it where it counts. Now, if I were going to rate this camera uh, from 1 to 5 stars, I would give it a solid 4. I would rarely give anything a 5. I would give it a solid 4 because even, like I said, even with the difficulty with the instruction manuals and having to figure out the menus and all that, even with that, it functions well enough at a low enough price point to where it doesn't matter. So I would solidly give that 4 stars, and I would recommend this to anyone that. Now, if you want something that is completely, touch a button simple, don't get this camera. I don't know if any of them are like that, but if you're fairly good at figuring things out and working through the language issue with the instruction manual and all, if you're okay with that, then I would highly recommend this camera. So I hope this helps you if you're in the market for a dash cam. Like I said, I'll leave the link to this cam on Amazon in the description. If you got any questions, or if I can, I can try to help you, if you've got this and it's, being aggravating or whatever because of the language thing, shoot me a comment in the comment section. I'll try to get back with you as soon as I can and help you work through it. But there it is, the Aolbea dual dash cam 1080p dash cam, recommended by Sugar Free Reviews.